What's up, everybody? Welcome back after some time missing to the Catalan Grand Prix of 2023, where, as you can see here, we will have the old corner coming back instead of having that ugly thing here. It's gonna be this one, much nicer and smoother when they are racing. So let's get into it. Quick news iPods for Ferrari. Looks like the Red Bull idea is gonna be the concept to follow by, I'm gonna guess, most of the teams, since the top teams all are copying Red Bull's concept, right? By our friends from Motorsport, you can see the new picture from the one in Barcelona. Part of the upgrade package that they're bringing. This is a car of Carlos Sainz, but anyway, Alpine, Aston Martin and Mercedes are copying the concept of Red Bull, and looks like Ferrari, well, it is a fact. Ferrari is copying it as well. Not exactly the same, but the concept is going to be similar. Instead of the one that Ferrari used to have with those, they call it, I think, the bathtub, something like this. Anyway, we do have also a Pirelli testing some tires for the Silverstone Grand Prix. It looks like downforce increase in the cars, and the forces and everything are kind of requiring more from the tires. So Pirelli are gonna be testing on Friday for the teams, with the teams, some new structures. And this is, like I said, for 2024 and 2024. For the Silverstone Grand Prix, it was a tire that was intended to be introduced 2024. However, like I said, because of the forces and stuff, they will be introducing here. What does this mean? This means that each team will have one extra hard compound tire for either FP1 or FP2. Right, and as we know, if you have been paying attention to the news lately, Red Bull is leaving an exodus. Key staff are leaving. We saw already Dan Fellows joining Aston Martin, which I'm gonna guess for a huge amount of money. And Dan Fellows changing the whole concept of the car for Aston Martin, jumping from being second to last to second in this 2023, right? We have Rob Marshall confirmed that he's gonna be joining McLaren next year, and now David George is also leaving Red Bull to join Ferrari in 2024. According to what Red Bull says, like, they are getting offers of like doubling their salary, and they are paying them twice to convince them to join other teams. Of course, it could be a challenge as well for them to join a team that is not doing as well as they had been doing in the past. Let's not forget Ferrari, and especially McLaren, have been forces to be reckoned in the 90s, in the 80s, in the 2000s, right? Until these regulation changes brought the teams a little bit backwards. So, will these signings bring something new to the teams? We will see either next year or the following ones. I don't think that they will have the same effect as the Dan Fellows, but anyway. The race. This is the layout. We have two DRS zones, which is good, because DRS is not a real F1, but anyway, it helps to overtake, especially in this kind of racetrack where overtaking is extremely difficult. I would adventure to say that it doesn't matter if you have the DRS here, because it's not possible to overtake there. This is the only overtaking point, the only one. That's it. If you have DRS and you can come kind of close to the car in front in this corner, perhaps you can have some advantage with the DRS. We will see. But I'm really happy to see this corner here, by the way. Sorry, turn 13. So we will see. We will see. The weather looks like it's gonna be not as hot as other years. You remember all the years we used to have like 30 degrees, something like this, or 35, which would be killing for the tires, especially, and the performance of the car, the reliability and everything. It was hell. This kind of Grand Prix. It was extremely hot. However, this year we will have lower temperatures. Chance of rain 40%, 40%, 40%. In theory, there should not be rain, but as you can see, you never know. We already saw what happened in Monaco. But anyway, 23 degrees is not a hot weather for Spanish Grand Prix. Usually it's like I said, 30, 35, so could be better for the reliability of the cars and everything. Conditions, we have C1, C2, C3, which are the hardest tires possible. Why? Because the asphalt abrasion, as you can see here, is 4. And this asphalt is a tire killer. Not the worst, but almost. The downforce required is also 4, because you have very high speed corners everywhere, and you only have one straight where you need the speed. So, and especially bringing this corner back, these 2 corners require high speed. So you need high downforce. Tire stress 5, like I said, high downforce with fast corners requires tough tires. Maybe that's why Pirelli are testing the tires here, right? Because this racetrack is a tough one. Lateral, the same thing, especially like you can see this corner, it's a tough one. This one, it's a tough one. This one, especially this one as well. It's a hard racetrack. I'm gonna guess it's fun to drive on, but anyway. So traction is 3, braking is 3, it's kind of in the middle, you don't have like big braking points everywhere. So yeah, track evolution 3, it's a racetrack that is used a lot during the year, so the evolution should not be that much. Asphalt grip 3, same thing, used all the year long. 66 laps, right? 307 kilometers per race distance, 4.6 kilometers for the lap. And new lap record. We don't know because the last recordings are back in the year 2000s with the V8 engines. I think it was the first season of the V8 engines actually. Anyway, let's move into the prediction. We don't have sprint rates, so we only have one prediction. Pole position, I think there is no doubt here. Max Verstappen. This is not gonna be Monaco. This is gonna be back to reality where teams are not going to be even close to Red Bull, right? I think pole position will be for Max Verstappen. He's in a hype. And I don't think, unless something happens, I don't think anybody is going to be able to take anything off his grip. And for the race, well, I think it's going to be just a military march for Max Verstappen and Red Bull in general, right? Sergio Perez will come second. And usually Fernando Alonso goes very well in the home Grand Prix. So third, Charles Leclerc, I think, finally will get back in the form with Ferrari, seeing what happened last year, that he was dominating as a hammer, right? Hamilton fifth, maybe the Mercedes upgrades that we didn't see very well in Monaco might work here. Let's see how that goes. Mercedes went very well here last year, so I have hopes for Mercedes in this racetrack. Carlos Sainz, I think it's going to be sixth. I am very disappointed with Carlos Sainz this season. I think, yeah, he's ahead of Leclerc in the score, in the points in the championship, right? But if you can see the performance, Leclerc usually has been ahead of him, except for, I think it was Australia. But for the rest, Leclerc has been always like qualifying behind due to penalties or whatever. And then when he gets to the point of where he has to overtake Carlos Sainz, instead of swapping positions and let the faster driver go, they don't let them do that. So, as we saw, Leclerc saying in Jeddah, I'm not gonna push anymore. So, I think that's the attitude this year. They're not fighting for anything, so. Lance Stroll will come 7th. The Aston Martin here, he can overtake. Making mistakes is difficult. This is a racetrack where all the drivers have raced before, so should be easy for him, being kind of in the top. I put the Stroll 7th and George Russell 8th because I'm gonna guess something will happen, and to spice it up a little bit. And then 9th, Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly. I think the Alpines made an upgrade, a step forward, and I hope they can be closer to the top 4, right? The big 4. And we can see something like this. This is good news and bad news. Good news is that if Alpine really is there, they can challenge somebody from the big 4, right? The bad news is that if this is real, then the top 10 positions for the whole season, unless something happens, are covered already. So the other teams should not be scoring a lot of points, such as McLaren or Haas or Alfa Romeo or whatever. This racetrack has a very abrasive asphalt, like I said, so all the teams that are bad at tire managing, such as Ferrari and Haas, for example, are going to suffer in this Grand Prix. That's why, for example, I put Carlos Sainz 6th, because it looks like his tire management skills are not very good. based on what we saw in Bahrain, for example, right? So yeah, and now the quiz. We talk about turn 14, well, now it's turn 13. Which year was the last that was running the old corner in turn 13, 14? No, it's 13, before it was 13. So 2001, 2007, 2010, 16 or 20. If you know the answer, put it in the comments. If you have any other things that you want to say ahead of the weekend, as per usual, also put it in the comments. And let's see you after the race.